YouTube, Dawson Ryder here. Welcome to my review for BoonBoomger episode 47, the penultimate episode. Crazy that we're already here. Honestly, I really liked this episode. A couple small little nitpicks, but they could be solved next week. But overall, I thought it was a really strong penultimate episode. Maybe a little bit fast, but I still enjoyed it. We left off with Mira getting a marriage proposal. That was an accident, and that was kind of a brilliant accident. But a marriage proposal from Spindor to sort of unite the clans and have like a peace thing between the BoonBoomgers and the Hash Aliens and all that. And she reluctantly agrees, which is obviously all a part of a ruse. And something that's kind of funny is in the comments last week, people pointed out that this is a direct callback to the beginning of the series where she was at a wedding. That comes back into play very much so at the ending, which I'll talk about in a couple minutes. But I can't believe I didn't even think about that. So then after that, they have this whole faux, like the BoonBoomgers are separating type of thing, and they all go different directions. And outside of Mira meeting with Spindor briefly and wanting, I think, the rights to the Grand Prix, and he's like, oh yeah, I'll agree to that because I'm just going to control you with jewelry like men do in real life. I'm just kidding. You know what I mean? So outside of that scene, you just have like two stories we follow until the end, or at least two main things happening, which is Joe with Team Rocket and Sakito destroying the Boom Boom Killer Robos. Now, one thing I want to talk about before I get to that, though, is with the Grand Prix, I'll be curious what happens with that next week, and I'm really surprised we never got to see that. Maybe next week somehow, like after the finale's over, we'll do a flash forward and maybe they'll be at the Grand Prix. But when they brought that up so much in the series, I thought that's kind of a missed opportunity. I think doing an arc about the Grand Prix could have been really cool and something unique. And you know, even if we do something small with it next week, like a flash forward or a mention, I think it was a missed opportunity in the series. Anyway, though, Team Rocket is alive, as predicted. I didn't think they would kill them off. Honestly, I thought there was a small chance they would leave them off the board this week and then have them show up in the finale as a surprise, we're alive moment. They're already back, they're already alive, and they're in need of help, and these kids draw Joe's attention to that. And there's actually some really nice scenes between them, kind of drawing parallels between the fact that they both kind of quit their jobs and what gave them purpose before and now are sticking to their morals. And I thought that was really a nice little scene. I honestly really enjoyed it, especially when they wind up protecting the kids together. And then there's another nice moment that's tied to when Sakito is destroying the killer robos of the kids cheering the BoonBoomgers on. Because even though the public is getting, you know, fake news, sad about the BoonBoomgers, the kids don't believe it at all. They believe the BoonBoomgers are saviors, and they're cheering them on when they're fighting with the Team Rocket characters and when Sakito's blowing up the killer robos. Even the nephew of the ISA guy is like cheering him on and like telling his uncle, like, why aren't you telling them the truth that the BoonBoomgers are good guys? So I think the kids' belief in the BoonBoomgers is going to be the catalyst next week to everybody realizing they've been lied to. And I think they've done a pretty decent job of setting that up in terms of kind of the reputation of the tire people and the BoonBoomgers amongst the kids and the public as the series has gone on, that I think that this was a satisfying little moment. Sometimes those moments where the characters or the kids will cheer the people on, it gets a little cheesy, but this honestly worked for me. I thought it was kind of an inspiring, heroic little moment, and I think there'll be another one next week. At least it seems like that from the preview, and I don't know, I really like that, and it kind of bothered me that the public just bought everything so quickly, although I guess that's very true to life, how quickly people will turn on stuff. But they've done such a good job with their reputation and clearly proving they're heroes. I like that stuck with the kids, and I thought that was a couple little nice moments there with that story. Now then, of course, we get the last sequence, which was my favorite sequence of the episode, where the wedding is happening, but then of course you realize it's all a ruse before anything can happen, and Mira gets the ring on her finger, Taya shows up, and this was the moment that I think I probably would have realized it calls back to the beginning, because it so much was like a poetry it rhymes moment with the pilot, and I really liked that. I like when stories can successfully bookend or bring things full circle, and I thought that was really cool. And then they reveal, apparently I guess Ishiro's just been working with them the whole time. That was maybe my only nitpick outside of the fact that I felt a lot of stuff was resolved really fast here, including that, is that I guess they were all working together the whole time. Hopefully we get more clarity next week. I think it would have slowed the momentum of this final sequence down if they would have stopped and explained everything, but still, it did happen a little quick. But setting that aside, I just really loved the whole sequence here. Like Taya stopping it, Chashiro showing up, he calls in a Boom Boom car that eats Spindor's monkey, which is the key to his power or whatever. And just the moment of the original band together, the original core trio was great. Because like not only was I getting kind of nostalgic, which is kind of weird to say, for the first episode of BoonBoomger with the whole wedding thing and Taya showing up, but it made me nostalgic for that whole first part of lap 1, where it was just that core 3. And I really liked that dynamic with the core 3, and I partly wish we would have stayed with it a little bit longer. And then everybody else rolls in one by one. You know, Gemba shows up because he had been at his ship earlier and reveals like, no, I'm actually blocking the Yaru cars with my ship. Joe shows up, they all do the transformation sequence, they put on their champion jackets and do the final roll call. That signature BoonBoomger instrumental riff kicks in, which I absolutely love. I thought it was a great moment. You know, Ty says it's the time for the final lap. It was one of those kind of like chills moments. I just thought it was really good. And I really, really enjoyed it, honestly. Like, my only two complaints, like I said, was The Ishiro stuff was kind of fast, and I hope we get more of an explanation next week. And just overall, I felt like it was a little quick for the resolution. I mean, obviously, we only have one episode left, but because we have 2 episodes left, it just felt kind of quick the way certain things were resolved very fast. But overall, though, I thought it was a great little episode and also kind of spoke to the very unique situation of this finale. I'll probably bring this up next week and in the series review, but I really like how unique this final arc is, because it's not your traditional, alien occupation, waves of enemies coming at you, a big monster that's hard to defeat. It was kind of this whole political thing, and there was these different moving pieces, and I really liked that. The only other 2 things I wanted to note quick is, yet again, Bundario is not back. He's kind of like that missing kid in Gav. He's just still missing the whole time, although they found him this week. Spoilers for Gav. Oh, they found him last week, but they bring it up this week. Anyway, kind of like I thought, I guess they're going to bring him back in the finale. Some people brought up last week as well, with something I didn't even think about, is that maybe gasoline's going to be the key to bringing him back. Again, they have to bring him back because they got to kill him off again at the beginning of Gojuger. But yeah, I'm surprised they've kept him off the board this long, but I kind of like that. I'm actually kind of happy about that. I think that's going to make it more impactful that they actually kept him off the board for this whole last stretch of episodes, and we'll probably have him returning in the finale. The only other thing I wanted to talk about too was, it was really cool to see Sakito take out all the Boom Boom Killer Robos. It was just a cool sequence. Obviously, it had importance to the plot. It's not that I didn't like that sequence, but the fact that he was off, finishing that, while the BoonBoomgers were reuniting yet again, just drives home how separate Sakito feels from the cast. And that's clearly kind of the dynamic they're going for, but it just feels so strange to have a Sentai character, a part of that team, feel like such an other. Like, it's just so weird, especially I think because that final episode in Lap 2 that was kind of the culmination of his debut arc was about how he found a place with his friends, and yet every time there's been an emotional moment with the team or the team reuniting, he's nowhere to be seen, or he's standing in the corner. And it just drives home how poorly handled I think his character has been in the series. But other than that, really strong penultimate episode. I'm looking forward to next week and doing the series review, and then of course we have Gojuger right around the corner. Exciting time to be a Sentai fan. But let me know what you thought of the episode in the comments as always. Until next time, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and climb the steps and ring that bell to get notifications for all my videos. Dawson Ryder, signing out.